How many of y'all know how to make a thermostatic spherical clutch for your clutch fan using a piece of sheet metal, a sticker, and a fucking trimming nail? I did not think so. This is working very well. In case you're wondering what the hell you're looking at, I've been struggling with thermal issues in this car for a long time, and as you can see, there is no radiator shroud. So you're going to be saying, no shit. I'm working on getting one, but until then, I have to pull out my auxiliary fan, because that is no longer operational. It is broken, and it's restricting airflow. And to be honest with you, it doesn't get that hot here in Connecticut. So having an auxiliary fan is really not necessary, considering the clutch fan is more than powerful to move air across the condenser coil, which you can see right here, which is what the main job of this pusher fan that they call an auxiliary fan is for. Now, BMW originally designed that fan to do the majority of the workload, which is stupid. It does not have the power necessary to push that much air over and across the radiator, which is why they have a clutch fan, which originally was designed for the thermal thresholds of 240 something degrees Fahrenheit. That's right about where it kicks on. I don't like that. I know these things like to run hot, but that's a little too high up there for my liking. So I adjusted the clutch only to have the car overheat, so it was too problematic. So I built a new one, a new, clutch, which is what you see right there, out of a fucking trimming nail, like you'd use to put up trim around your door. It's a framing nail, and a sticker with a piece of sheet metal arcing between the points. So what happens is, as this fan spins faster because the RPMs pick up on the engine, that spherical piece of sheet metal right there gets expanded due to the force being pushed against it, which then pushes that pin into the original diaphragm, which then disengages and engages the clutch, which allows the fan to spin at a slower ratio to the engine, allowing the engine to rev up and increasing efficiency and power levels on acceleration as well as cruising when the fan isn't needed. The actual housing you see there also allows for the heat to be exchanged against that piece of sheet metal, which reacts according to temperature. So if it's hotter, it bends easier, which allows that to engage the clutch. But when it's colder and sitting, the clutch stays engaged because the sheet metal is stiff at a position where it is going to hold the fan back in the clutch position. And overall, it seems to have worked fantastic. It's a very basic system, but I've been able to get the fan to kick on to a 1-to-1 with the actual shaft here that it's mounted to at a temperature of 210 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm much happier with. And I still need to get a radiator shroud. I don't like this, but I have to custom make one because I have a cold air intake, and I'm no longer using the stock BMW reservoir. So, by the way, guys, don't modify your air intakes. These engines breathe plenty of fine, as I found out using the stock intake. There's no real reason to do this. I was just experimenting, and clearly I'm keeping it like this until I get that air filter used out. But once I figure out a better way to mount a coolant reservoir else in here, because there's not a lot of room, I'll be swapping back to the stock intake. There's no reason to do what I did here. So this solved my overheating issue.